Tennis scores are kinda weird, right? 15, 30, and 40? As tennis fans get ready to watch stars like Serena Williams, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic, those less familiar with the game may ask, why count this way? Disappointingly, no one really knows how it started, but the records of scoring system related back almost to the beginning of the sport. In those years, the scoring was 15, 30, and 45, the math of which at least make more sense than the modern system. Charles d'Orléans composed a ballad around 1439 while imprisoned, in which he compared life with a game of tennis, and uses the French word for 45, playing on the number as both his age and a score in a tennis match. And around the 1520s, Aramis, a Dutch scholar, wrote a dialogue between two tennis players where one says, "We have got 30, and we have got 45. The one 16th century English text that used 40 for a tennis score. A treatise from a few decades earlier indicated that the French students were simply shortening the word 45 to 40 when they described the game. But the reason behind this counting method were obscure even then. In the 1520s, already what was not explained was how a player can win 15 points for a single stroke. Over the centuries, various theories have relied on everything from complicated multiplication to the history of scoring systems in other games, to measurements of distance between lines of demarcation on early courts, but no definite answer could be found. One of the most common suggestions is that the progression is linked to the minute on the clock. It's been suggested that the monk would look at the clock, the 4 points, and somehow feel that was a good way of scoring, and then 45 became 40, though nobody knows why. Clocks were rapidly developing in the Middle Ages, and the vision into a rough quarter hour was imaginable. This theory's detractors point out that minute hands on clocks were only introduced in the late 15,000s and became common even later. As for love, the word has been used since the 17,000s to mean nothing, and is also used in a variety of other games, from racket sports to cards, but how it came to mean this is also unexplained. There is also one theory that traces the etymology to the French lisu, meaning egg, an object the same shape as the number 0. But there was no indication that the French ever used that word, and they didn't write scores down, so the visual association wouldn't cue the egg comparison. But it might not be a load word at all. Phrases along the lines of neither for love nor money had already entered the lexicon. So the idea that a person with love had no money could be a plausible explanation for why the word meant no points in a game that was frequently the subject of wagers. Today, despite the scoring system, some tennis players are superstars. Hundreds and thousands attend games in person. Millions watch televised matches, and about 87 million people play the game.